Everybody, Darren Slaughter, darrenslaughter.com, darrenslaughter.consulting. Quick video. I did a consult yesterday, and in going through, I guess, the nuts and bolts of the company and the contractor and his organization, we got into sales and how he did sales for the longest time, and he just got tired of doing the sales and trying to get the work done and schedule teams and the whole bit. So he took his best salesperson and made that salesperson the sales manager. Now, I hope most of you know where this story is going, because if you do, then that means that this video is useless. But for those of you who don't, what I found in most walks of life is that when you take your best salesperson and turn them into a sales manager, it's a disaster for everybody. It's a disaster first and foremost for the new sales manager. It's a disaster for you and your company. And let's talk about why. So if you have a sales manager, that means that you have other people, other salespeople that now roll up to this sales manager. Now, what made the guy who's now, or the girl who's now your sales manager great probably had nothing to do with managing at all. Probably had to do with how they were able to deal with Mr. and Mrs. Jones, how they were able to deal with leads, how they were able to do their job effectively as a salesperson. That very rarely translates into a good job as a sales manager. So when you're thinking about taking a salesperson and making them a sales manager, you have to understand that you're running the risk of ruining that person, quite possibly damaging your business in the short term. Because if they've never been a sales manager before, they now have to learn how to manage. Not only they're going to default back to doing their regular job, which was selling, but now they've got to manage the rest of your team. They've got to manage you. They've got to manage the client or customer. They've got to manage whatever else inside of the organization that you've now dumped on their plate, versus just managing the lead, the project, or the customer or client that they would be working with on their own. So if you're the salesperson, or if you've brought a salesperson on, or you have a salesperson that you're getting ready to make a sales manager, you need to think long and hard. Do a lot of research as to how to move that person to the next level. Are they really ready? They may be great at sales, but they may stink as a manager. So you have to find out if they're good at managing before you can ever turn them loose on the rest of your organization. I bet 80% of you already know this, but for the 20% of you out there who this is a new thing, that you're just about to do this, or you're thinking about doing it, and you're asking around, you're asking the supply house, you're down at Lowe's, you're whatever, and you're kind of asking people's opinions, listen to me. You probably want to avoid taking your best salesperson and making them a sales manager. It's probably not going to work out. So think of another solution and run from there. Or you better make damn sure that this person is either replaceable, because you have to understand you're going to run the risk of losing them as, an employee at all if this whole project shits the bed. So be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout for good people who may not be great at sales, but are great at managing people, who are great at processes, who are great at the company culture, because they may make a better sales manager than your best salesperson does. So it's not always the top salesperson who makes the best sales manager. Sometimes it's somebody right in the middle who kind of is a jack of all trades, and maybe that's a bad term, but who has a better, a more well-rounded approach to your business and selling and managing, and just a better idea of what it takes to manage. Now, the other thing you can do is you can always go out and hire a manager from the outside. That brings with it its own kettle of fish, but it is an option. It's a way of keeping people, letting people know where they stand, that they're great at what they do, but that you need a sales manager to run the organization, and it can't be you anymore. perfectly okay. And you can have that conversation with your salespeople. Say, listen, I don't want to take you out of the field. I don't want to keep you from earning what you're earning. Just because you're a sales manager doesn't mean you're going to make more money. Most sales managers don't make more than what their salespeople make. And that's a bit of a pill for a lot of people to swallow when they get out in the field and they realize, or they get out of the field and they realize, holy shit, I'm not making what I used to, and I've got 4 people, 5 people rolling up to me and all their problems. Sometimes they look forward to going back into the field. So a lot going on there. You need to talk about it. Let's talk about it. Give me a shout. Give me an email. Give me whatever. But before you make that move, maybe we should talk. That's it. Have a good one. Bye.